My friends, as you see my previous video, I was ejected from the my camping parking spot at the Best Buy from Kaiser Permanente. That's a vacant area that has the Jabberoo clinic there. I don't want to mention that because of my YouTube channel. So Kaiser Permanente has a whole facility there dedicated just for doing the Jabberoos from Flintstones. And so anyway, but thankfully the Father, the Lord, the angels, and everyone from the higher command turned that into positive. I didn't get in trouble with the police. You'll see that video. And I did the best I could, so please don't judge the way I handle these officers, because I'm exhausted and getting attacked. When you're exhausted, your mind I fell asleep. You saw my comments in the previous video about the faces. I'd actually fallen asleep. I was drowsy, so having these guys, I actually had woken up and they come driving in there immediately to where I was at. I mean, not even just like ready on attack and guard, right? Well, anyway, so you pray for those guys because they're going to be in a nightmare, I think. But I'm not going to say how God the Lord treat them. And angels, who knows? But anyway, hate the ways, not them. Pray for them anyway. So this is what I'm going to do. So this is for the that number was actually created. It could be the 144,000. I have no idea if that number is real or not, right? But the elect, the first fruits, everything that help bring in the new reset, new earth, whatever that number is, God knows, and I don't know. I don't know the number, and I'm just going to do my part. If it's 10 of us, if it's 100, if it's 1 million, whatever, I don't care. I'm not in the numbers. I'm here to help the people here, souls to find back pointing back to God and God's ways, right? Okay. So anyway, so the thing is that there's Jeffrey Daughtry. I don't know if you ever seen him. He actually moved off to YouTube because they kept banning him and kicking him out of there, and he finally gave up. So Jeffrey Daughtry, he's a good guy, great guy. Learned a lot from him. At first I thought, my God, the guy was blaspheming me, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I mean, he's insulting, and he does kind of insult the Lord and God in a roundabout way. No offense to him, he's just confused. But he was actually a former preacher and also a veteran, and still a younger guy. Well, looks sort of young at all, but he was a former. And so he said, boy, this stuff isn't adding up. He said, some of the stuff is really evil. Well, I'm not going to go there, but God has a reason for Jeffrey being able to speak somewhat, right? Anyway, Jeffrey, he really is a smart guy. I mean, there's times that I wanted to shut his mouth, and when I was talking, through comments, just in that way, not actually physically, just because, man, he's so insulting. But he has some truths. So it's like we're learning truths even from all these people, and he does have some truths about how bad the churches are run, and that's why he had to quit after, like, I can't remember, he said 15 or 25 years. He knows it up and down, the scripture. I mean, he's like, man, he goes, you can't beat me, and he goes, I want any one of you that is a Christian to try to denounce my interpretation of what he reads in the Bible. Now, there is some good stuff in the Bible, so don't be blasting to it, but there's also some very wrong written things by man, and churches taking control of man, actually modifying the Bible to their best means, right? Anyway, so then go there. So if you ever get a chance, he's actually moved off. You can see his last video, and he tells you and describes to you what to look at and what the truth is, and some of these truths and things like that. I'm tired, so I'm sorry for the babbling here. But so if you have a chance to check out Jeffrey Daughtry, you haven't seen him. He says he always said this term about being indoctrinated. He goes, you're born and sovereign, and he says, they're trying to make you, destroy you, make you feel guilty, take control of you. That, if you don't do the certain way the churches want and give them certain money and things like that. So he has some truths there, right? But anyway, but he's still missing some of the key things. He doesn't talk about, certain things like the Mandela effect. He doesn't talk about divine destiny and some other key things, and doesn't talk about simulation and some other things that in decoding your reality and things like this. That what is our reality and who are we? And he doesn't get that deep, but he does a pretty good job. He has mentioned some of those briefly, but and he does his own little thing, right? Well, anyway, so not to go on about Jeffrey. So we always talked about being indoctrinated, because he goes, I'm unindoctrinated. I'm going to get you out of the church. So, and God works in mysterious ways. So this is true. So anyway, so that's why I brought this up. And this is the thing. I made it longer, so I'm just tired. So I babble. So I apologize. Babylon, that's Kirk. But anyway, so here's the thing is, indoctrinate. This is what's really important about I actually did the opposite of indoctrinate. So, but so I'm going to do the opposite, and I'll go back to what is indoctrination. Well, let me do indoctrination first. Let me pull up another browser window and type in indoctrination. Indoctrinate. Yeah. By the way, you saw me pulling up some movies. I'm doing this. And that is amazing. There are movies popping out of everywhere. There's actually multiple Star Wars now. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. There was I was even talking to Brother Raleigh. I said, my gosh, we have a ton of movies that you could spend, just a lifetime watching between. They produce them every year. I didn't know Star Wars had, in my reality, they have all these Ewok movies. I mean, seriously, go back to 1986 and stuff, and some are like 1996. I said, you gotta be kidding me. I would have known about these because I used to be hanging out at the Blockbusters and all these different rental places, right? And there's none of these. I mean, we had a limited set. I mean, think about the production that would have to be involved in producing all these movies that they're coming out with now that were supposedly around when I was around. There's tons of production companies. You would have had an entire city of just actors and actresses trying to fill those roles. And some of these are major ones. I mean, even, one that's weird is, I still can't figure out, is the one, I don't remember it, but it actually has Michael J. Fox playing very cleanly with his language and everything. And it's a spiritual story. I wish I remember that one. You might remember it. That didn't exist in my reality. And what's crazy about it, that was at the same time that he was diagnosed with his Lou Gehrig's disease, right? And where he was having functioning problems. And I can't imagine he would have done this entire movie. So I have no idea what's going on there. That just blows my mind. I can't remember. It's Michael J. Fox. And it's kind of a comedy, spiritual thing. Gosh, I wish I remember. I watched it about a month ago. So I apologize. I'm tired too. Anyway, indoctrinate. So there's just a ton of movies. If you notice that, say, yeah, Kirk, I've seen it. Just there are movies never seen, right? And just crazy. I'm like, there are so many movies that I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. They're popping up out of nowhere, right? And we also saw one removed, like Shazam was removed. But that's the only one that clearly that I know that does not exist anymore. There must be something really key to that Shazam that we're missing. See, because in science, it's a process of elimination sometimes. You try to identify things directly, but then sometimes it's a process of elimination. You have to eliminate things to find the truth. And that's kind of what I started doing. I started eliminating. At first I was looking for the truth. I started eliminating. Well, it can't be here, 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 and here, right? So doing the process of elimination to find those truths. Physicians will do that to diagnose you with something, right? Anyway, so I'm sorry I'm all over the place. But see, so I don't know how you found some of these truths, but it's a process of elimination, right? I went to all the churches, say, boy, they're not there either. Went to the Mormons, went to the Catholics, went to every church. I'm like, God, there's something still missing. So doing that process of elimination to find out some truths about your God and Creator. And by the way, I know that some of you said we're in urgency. Yes, we are. But God will let us know. Our Creator will let us know. And also the Lord will send a message too, that if we're in urgent need to, if they tell you to move, you better move. I mean, you exit immediately, right? Because they've moved me. I'm not kidding you. I've been moved a couple of times on purpose. They're like, God, and I don't know. Sometimes I didn't know the reason. Sometimes I found out they saved my life. So you just respond to that, right? You just move and don't ask questions. You can ask later, right? Or try to figure it out later. Just move. And, they've saved my life, got me out of bad positions before. Especially the Lord, He's actually come in and said, man, I'm moving you, right? He said, there's something that ain't right here that you're not aware of. So, anyway, indoctrinate, okay? In means you're in, not out. First of all, that's the print prefix, whatever it is, right? In, so you're in this. So you want to be out. No, they got you trapped in, like in jail, right? But indoc, so you become a doctorate, don't you get it? Indoctrinate. So that's the thing. So if you go to, I'm not trying to blaspheme. God has a reason for these churches. We don't sell these churches. They're just different. They serve purposes and you understand that, right? I got some friends that are Catholics, great people, right? But anyway, So you get indoctrinated into the system, right? To the religious system, and you become indoctrinated. You become a doctor. You have a degree in that religion. I get some people, they can read scripture 10 times back out of the Bible. They'll say Corinthians 42. So they're actually doctors of that religion, right? But what's funny about it, so they become doctors. They also take downloads and read the text and these things like that. That surprises me that their actions are different from what they read in the Bible. And also sometimes they'll, for example, they'll take a change like the lion shall lay with the lamb to the lion shall dwell with the wolf and be led by a child. I mean, there's a lot of changes in the Bible. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Now, so it's amazing how they're being doctored. But that's the thing is to do doctors at school to pick up new theories, something to take a download and say, well, that everybody's always coming out with a new way of doing business. I remember all of these ones. There's just-in-time manufacturing, then there's total quality management, and all these other things. And there's open book management. Somebody's always got a different approach to sell their idea and stuff. We see that with religion too, right? Anyway, so indoctrinate means teach a person or group to accept a set of beliefs uncritically. Oh my goodness. They'll take it in immediately, even if it's, has some negative connotations or something's quite not right. And broadcasting was a vehicle for indoctrinating the masses. Well, okay, now that's what television does, right? Television and all this thing, they're broadcasting. It's their vehicle for indoctrinating the masses, not just by religion, but they do it to brainwash and control them. It's through radio, television, TV, movies, all these things, about advertisements. Well, you want to have this new vehicle at all cost, or and you got to drink this liquor, which in my reality they weren't allowed to do liquor on TV. So that's a new one for me, by the way. I'm surprised they don't allow smoking to be advertised. But anyway, seriously, it was not allowed. Now all of a sudden you see all this. They did, but it was very okay. I'll correct myself on that. That is true that during Super Bowl, certain times, the only time you'd see an advertisement for a beer company. But in general, you wouldn't see these hard alcohols. It'd be always like really, like 3.2 beer, or just bottom beer levels. Nothing at this hard liquor stuff. That just never happened. It was always just beer and minor drinking, because they didn't want to push those buttons too far in my earth and my timeline reality. So anyway, so broadcasting was a vehicle of mass. So a teacher instructs someone. So they're going to instruct you, not really teach or coach. There is a difference between teaching and coaching in a way, right? To each his own. Don't you got to teach somebody? Anyway, he indoctrinated them into a systematic theology. Oh my gosh. It becomes a system, the beast system. You automatically systematic. You automatically become a part of the beast system. You've been indoctrinated. They got you into their theology, the Catholic theology, and all these other things, right? So, and that's why I'm going to talk about the 144,000. Like I said, we don't know if it's a specific number. Don't really care. But that's why it says virgins of the church. It's not virgins like physically being virgins. My understanding means virgins to the church. Now, God has done that many times. You look through religion, through the history that's written in different types of scripture and things. They got to go out there and pick out somebody who's not been indoctrinated with churches and bring them in, and to bring into a new theology or a message that He wants to send. Right? It's amazing how many times that's been done. Look around. Seriously, you see it so many times in the Bible where He'll take somebody, I can't remember, Elijah, Enoch, all these other ones that weren't very religious, and all of a sudden just immediately take them, and they're like virgins too. They're outside of the priesthood and the churches, and all of a sudden they become the new word, right? And we see that kind of like the Lord. He didn't, He wasn't born under a priesthood. He was born as just a commoner, Mary and Joseph, right? So that's what He wasn't born under the church system, which I found out something I can explain to you later, not in this video, that blows my mind about the churches, why they're there. I got something crawling around the bushes. I have no idea what it is. Probably a rat. You gotta be kidding me. Something in there. Could be a bird. Something's crawling, but it's on the ground. I can tell the difference. Probably some nasty big rat or something. You gotta be kidding me. Anyway, I'm in a new location. You can't see this. I'm heading under another parking street spot. There's stuff written all over here. I saw a message to me directly. It said Quark, like Kirk. And a quirk on the side over there. There's something in there. Okay, sorry folks, I'm going to focus. Go away. I'm trying to rest here. Please. Anyway, yeah, something with a K here. It says K-A, Camille or Kami. I can't even read it, and you can't even see what I'm looking at. Love J. Richard. Somebody loves somebody, and this and that. Well, anyway, Rich. All right. It's painted in unusual silver. Maybe I'll show you later. I don't know. Anyway, sorry, the option. Like God, Kirk, just keep going. You gotta realize you gotta keep. When I'm talking this, I gotta pay attention to my environment, right? Anyway, teacher instructs someone is how you indoctrinate there. He indoctrinate them to whatever, right? There's a lot of definitions anyway, right? Anyway, it's about anyway. So and then I'm gonna go back to the other one. As over time for indoctrination. Let's see if over time. Let's see. I don't know. 1800s kind of low. 1950s became heavy, and then kind of balanced out around 2019, which is interesting. Got a heavy push in the 50s. I can't understand why that would have been. Maybe that was the 50 years of just really pushing in the churches, and even John F. Kennedy coming in with the Catholic and all this. And I don't know what examples. Well, anyway, children who have been indoctrinated against their parents' values. You got to be kidding me. Oh, you see right there. Children who've been indoctrinated against their God's values. Whoa. That's shocking. Never thought of it in that way. The doctrine of indoctrination teach a particular viewpoint, and only one viewpoint. We get it. Example doctrines to teach your children your religious beliefs. Well, that's okay, right? Oh, but to brainwash. Oh, you got to be kidding me. Wow, right? Well, anyway. The brain is brainwashing the same as indoctrination. Well, according to Miranda, brainwashing is defined as forcible indoctrination to induce someone to have given up basic political, social, religious beliefs, attitudes to accept contesting regimen ideas. Well, that's what governments do, and that's what the system does, and all these other things, right? So let's go. We know that. I mean, it's pretty dark, right? And all right. So let's go to my other search that I had, the opposite. The opposite of indoctrinated, which is unindoctrinated, right? Right. Well, it just says there, forget, right? So you got to forget everything we learned in the system right there, right? Learn something new. Forget it all, right? The whole world's a lie. We know that all the history is history. You got to forget it and learn. We got to learn here new stuff. Mislead. Wait, is this my guide? That's weird. Conceal, hide, or ask. We ask a lot of questions. I don't understand what some of this is. Forget, learn. I don't know. That's okay. What are these? So there's educate. Well, there you go. No, that's indoctrinated. Instruct, lesson, school, teach, train, tutor. What is this? Why am I so? Did I say the opposite of indoctrinated? All right. Okay. Well, shoot. What's this say? I'm sorry. Opposite to teach with a biased one-sided uncritical ideology. Forget, neglect. Well, it's for opposite effect of one's mind. We use extreme mental pressure. Keep, remain, stop. Well, wait. Oh, God. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out. There was something better about this. Well, that's indoctrinated. God, unindoctrinated. Let's type that in. It should say that. It should be unindoctrinated, right? Destruction, opposite state of being, educated, enlightened, ignorance, worsening, harm, hurt, confusion. Well, it's confusing. Ambiguity, disbelief. Okay, so now I'm really screwing this up. Socialization. Let's go. I mean, I thought I had something said clearly, but anyway, you know what we're heading towards in this. I just want to see it in writing. Unindoctrinated. There you go. Unindoctrinated. Not comparable, not indoctrinated. Let's see. Opposite of teach, train, or educating, given. Confused. Well, come on. No, there goes that again. You kidding me? There it is. Listen, or west. What is this? What? Let's see what this says. Well, gosh, I'm tearing this up. Well, anyway, you might have to do this on your own. We have to Indoctrinated English Dictionary. Well, that's a mess. Well, anyway. Not indoctrinated. Well, that's pretty basic. You got it. Not on. There are no. I guess not indoctrinated be free, freedom of thought. Right? If I had to do this, I mean, seriously, uninduced, uninducted. So anyway, unindulgent, unselfish. I'm trying to think on words, right? And over is sometimes bad, like over. Anyway, all right. So anyway, I'm sorry they made such a mess. I just want. Well, so I didn't know where I headed with this. Well, I just wanted to say that that's God, I hope you get something out of this. That and there's more of that like book. I understand book now in the Phoenician definition. See, I actually think it says definition or it says definition, a deaf Phoenician. So your deaf Phoenician, the original Phoenicians that understood that language was used against us. The phonics, they developed the phonics. It's in our language. And so anyway, so with the Phoenicians, the definition, right? You kind of want to be a deaf Phoenician because I told you we're trying to change because hate didn't exist, so the word should be removed. We got to come up with different words for hate and things like this in our new world and reset. That we want to speak those words because words become action and thought, right? We put power behind that spell. And someday I'm going to talk more about this because I said, how do we beat the NPC in the system? Well, that's one of the techniques that we're going to have to do. That in your mind, your thoughts, that you cannot have any thought of hate because it's like a ripple through the universe. You're putting power behind that spelling, that word, spelling, get it, dictionary. You're dictating that to the world like a dictator. So you're a dictation. So that's why we got to remove these things from our thoughts and be at peace. Even Native Americans talk about this where the Navajos, they wouldn't even recognize that skinwalkers exist because they said the first minute you recognize, then all of a sudden they become part of the reality and then you give them power, right? That image becomes energy into it. So there's actually a gentleman, I'll try to get a YouTube channel about his channel, that he talks about this amazing native Navajo that he listened to his grandfather, just has some great words of wisdom, just unreal, that's been passed down. He listened to everything the ancestors told him, right? And they had their own relationship with God, which is amazing, right? Well, anyway, so about him, and what he said was that he was like I guess a little older, I can't remember. Maybe it was older than 4, maybe 6 or 8, I don't know, 8 or 9 years of age, right? Something like that. 8 or 9, he's riding with his grandfather and somewhere in New Mexico or somewhere, and they literally did see a skinwalker walking next to the side of the road, apparently. And he said, hey, Grandpa, he goes, look at that skinwalker. And his grandfather chewed him out. He said, don't you ever look at that or give that any attention whatsoever. He said, that's an evil thing. And he said, you just gave it energy by focusing on it, right? And that's why they have all this evil and the spell casting. They want us to focus on this negativity. And we can't feed it because we are the energy behind it. See, there's the ones that just suck energy, like energy vampires, like a dead battery, taking a charge from us. So they want to charge us by having us focus on that negativity. So we got to remove all that from our thoughts and feeling, just like the Native Americans said, that we focus on positive things. That we don't even, that either doesn't exist, or we say, oh, that's a cute little animal over there. Don't even maybe do that. I don't know, but just try to turn those negatives into positive, but also try to completely just blank that out. Because see, I think that's part of the Mandela effect, is we're seeing some good things and bad things that are manifesting all around us as well. They're trying to manifest some negative things. We're seeing that through Bible, and once you read it, it becomes bad in your head, and all of a sudden you made it part of Scripture. Right? It became a part of our reality. So we got to keep all those negative things out of reality, and that's why in the Bible, even though it always talks about let the past be the past, move forward, right? So we move forward. Those things aren't a part of our reality, retroactivity, and we don't even think about those things. That some of the negative things we've seen in history and all that, we learn from it, but we don't focus on it, right? We learn from World War II, but we don't focus on it because you still bring that back in from the past to the present. See, there's the issue. See, we think that time is just development physically, but I tell you what, when you sit there and think about it, repeat all the nasties that have been done to humanity, you bring it back into existence and you keep that pain moving forward like a curse, right? And so we can only bring those curses forward because, the curse of, about the way that the slaves were treated from Africa, those curses of the way mankind, our ancestors treated. We got to stop bringing those forward. Yes, we recognize we don't repeat it, but we don't keep on doing it. Say, well, we were mistreated and this and that. Hey, everybody's been mistreated. I mean, look, we're all slaves to the system, right? You think you're just a slave just because you're from Africa. Hey, we all are slaves to this beast system. Some it was a little bit easier on them as being slaves, but in the end, we're all dead and we're all slaves to it, right? We all were not free souls and free spirits. We're all trapped into this jail and prison. So, it just depends on who had some special privileges in the jail. Somebody who may have had some more courtyard time or had some special weightlifting activities or got to cook versus the one who just was constantly in the jail, right? You're all still in prison. So anyway, not to go on about that, but see, that's why we got to stay positive. See, I'm just feeding it right now. You don't feed that negativity, right? Because it just gobble it up, right? And that's what we have to learn is that, I said hate did not exist. Evil did not exist. God created everything in perfection with love and peace and joy. Man came along with his egotism and all his jealousy and all these other things, created hate and all the stuff out of nothing, right? We took our energy and turned it negative, right? And like you said, sometimes there's a balance that we've learned this and this duality and this reality and stuff like that, okay? Because this is a duality. It's a duel. It's a duel between good and evil. It's a duel. It's a sword fight, right? And so it's a duel. It's a duality. See, it's right there. So anyway, that's enough about that. And the last time I think, because my battery's running low, okay? You just saw it. So anyway, that's between the light and the dark, getting dim, right? So we're going to bring this back into balance and have just a wonderful thing. And thank God, a creator, and everybody's worked their rear ends off, even the evil ones, yes, the Demir, Satan, you got to love thy enemy too, by the way, my friends. And then that's the way we got to kind of remove that negativity. We have to, see, I just brought that into existence, into power, right? Because we can bring in these other false gods and deities through our thoughts and beliefs. We can manifest them. I mean, there's people said they've talked to some evil things that even Satan, that just as powerful, see? And there's where we got to be careful, because those become reality, and that's even through the double split experiment, that what we think and observe, we don't only observe it, but we can put energy behind it. See, there's the problem. The double split experiment only shows the splitting of a wave into a particle that we made it become matter, a reality. So it goes beyond that, because then if you have a bunch of that matter, then pretty soon that matter becomes both a matter and reality, right? So we got to move that and make this a real world and bring back peace and restore everything. Even said in the Bible, the Lord says that we have to restore everything to the way it originally was, the creation of God. To restore it means we got to remove all this evil. And I'm not sure how much we're going to help from the side on this. I mean, they're helping, but we got to do our part. We've got to, that's why some people, you couldn't watch the Mandela Effect. I was talking to a sister from Kentucky. She goes, I don't focus on the Mandela Effect. And I said, well, I do if it's something beautiful like the new rainbow hummingbird. But if it's something negative, boy, we don't want to bring that into our reality. Leave that one behind. Just take that out. So that's why Mandela Effect is important, because it shows something. It's interesting, right? But you got to really be careful, because that's some evil ones trying to slip in some of that into reality, some of the negative stuff. And I don't want a part of it. I do not. So I'm not gonna watch the Mandela Effects. That if I do, I'm gonna maybe try to turn it to pause, or just completely ignore it and wipe it from my brain. The best is probably to stay away from it to begin with, and what she's done. So thank you, my sister. I'm not gonna mention her name, because that'd be up to her. And it's not she's trying to hide. Just it's not my right to tell and talk about things that we've talking about. She is completely, gosh, she's awake. My goodness, She understands. She said, she brought this up before. It's like aliens. Aliens don't exist in my reality. I have seen UFO, but I will never see an alien because I choose not to. And God will support that. And so through our creation as co-creations and stuff like this, I don't want to see them ever, right? They don't exist. I will not see the alien. Actually, the Lord told me one time, he said, Kirk, aliens don't exist. He said, it's just mankind's invention through their head and through the technology of the government. And I said, whoa, you're kidding me. He said, no, I'm telling the truth. I said, I said, aliens don't exist? He goes, no, they don't exist. So here's the thing is that the sister, we talked about this. She said maybe they exist. They're just fallen angels that are working on the dark side. Whether they truly are fallen dark angels or not, if we're manifesting them, that it doesn't matter because they're not going to exist in my reality. And see, and that's where Manly P. Hall talked about this. Now, I mean, Manly P. Hall, they said he was a Satanist and he was a Freemason, but I think he had some truths in there. You ever get a chance, look at Manly P. Hall. He has one final one. He says, the final thing. Now, be careful because he comes in like he is, he comes in a little bit over the top on about our reality, claiming that there's times that he said the Lord wasn't real. Then he said it was real. If you review his history, so you got to be careful because he kind of just waffles back and forth in some of his theology. But maybe it was a progression as he learned. He learned about different things. Like me, you look back when I was a year ago, you'd be like, oh my gosh, he was saying this. And I said, now he's saying this. So many people confused. I'd have people use that against me. They said, oh, I watched your YouTube video about a year ago, and now you're saying this. And so I'm only doing progression. So I'm going to make mistakes. I know nothing, to be honest with you. That's the problem. I'm just going with what the river that's flowing through and the information we're seeing from all you brothers and sisters. Thank you all. And also things that the other side is showing me and their God creators kind of present in front of me. And also the Lord and everybody. So I'm going to make mistakes. That's why I don't trust my word. Trust God's only. And seek God, right? Do not trust anybody else. Don't trust my words. Don't watch these YouTubes that, read your heart. You got to say, that doesn't quite sound right. Maybe that's a Holy Spirit or something working through. But don't even trust me. I'm just doing the best I can because I know nothing. I don't even know how we got here. So if I can't explain how I got here, how do I know where we're going? I don't know the beginning or the end because I'm not supposed to, right? So I'm just going with this guy floating around the thing, trying to help you, brothers and sisters, of where we're at in this timeline, this little dot of all the stuff. Because, maybe the universe has been here forever and all of a sudden we pop out from the dead out of nowhere. I have no idea, right? Maybe this is the beginning. Maybe the Earth's only been around 1,000 years. And God's still fine-tuning this and saying, well, this is my grand experiment, and this is my simulation, and we're going to do better in the future. I have no idea. We know there's many, many resets, but shoot, how many? Seriously. We have no idea. So anyway, we just do the best we can, right? And you don't know if you're off the path because they'll bump us back on course, right? So anyway, so God bless and love you all. I'm going to stop this now, and I appreciate you taking the time. Sorry I rambled. And I'll talk more about the videos of what I think that how we can control the net. And somebody said, what do we do with the NPCs and all this stuff? I have some ideas. I'm just exhausted and have no time to fully focus on. Sorry, 2:34. All right. So God bless and love you all. Take care. Have a good night or day where you're at.